lot of people have misconceptions about ancestors, and they think that it's contradictory to your religious standpoint, but it's actually not. You just have to dig deeper and find the balance between the two.
Yeah, no. So well, welcome back to the Truth-Based podcast. This is our, I don't know, second episode now.
Second run, yeah.
Going in. First one was very interesting.
Very.
If you want to find us, Silai Chilanati. And yeah, so our podcast, like we said, it revolves around conversations that are going to be thought-provoking. In a sense, it's for
And life-changing.
You feel me? Don't just listen, but also listen with understanding. You know? So yeah, for today, I'm your host, 013 Vanity, the whole time. And I have my co-host, which is also my guest for today.
Yeah, the name is the Musta. Some might say the master, but yeah, that's fine.
And like, okay, wait, before we get into a lot of conversations, like, how did that name come about? Let me understand.
Funny thing is, that name comes from my youth class preacher.
What? Okay.
Yeah. A lot of the times, going to his classes, he would call me the Musta. Musta this, Musta that. So I kind of adopted it from him, because he was the only one at the time calling me that. But I didn't understand why. But then along the way it got stuck, and I just decided to adopt that and make it the trademark.
So what does it mean?
Necessarily nothing.
How?
But it's kind of slang for my name, which is Muzi, but yeah, he slanged it.
That's how.
Yeah.
Okay, and then where does the Musta come from? Like, yeah, how do you...
Born and bred in Red Bank.
Okay, 013 as well.
013, yeah, representing.
Yeah.
So, born and bred in Red Bank. All my life I've been in Red Bank. Traveled a couple of places, traveled around, but really I stuck around my life around Red Bank.
Okay, let me ask a question I've been having in thoughts.
Yeah.
So, I see also you have crutches, my guy.
Yeah.
What happened? Yeah. Please take us through that experience.
Nothing really happened. I was born with a condition, spine condition. So I had a couple of surgeries, a lot of surgeries in fact. So I spent most of my teenage years in hospital, in and out of hospital, trying to fix, whatever was wrong. But I guess God had other plans, said, even though they can try their best, but it's meant to be. Yeah, so growing up with that condition, it really gave me a different perspective. Sometimes we might wish or want for something to be different.
True.
But if it's the way it's meant to be, nothing can change.
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
And then during that whole experience, did you have support as well from like family, friends, or girlfriend?
Yeah, a lot of support from my parents. Yeah, a lot of support. They tried their best not to let me, get in a position of, or in a space of getting into depression about the whole situation, looking at myself and looking at others.
True.
So I've adopted a very thick skin around the condition. So I really have accepted it, and I've grown to love myself the way I am.
So also during like your high school times, it was also the same.
Yeah.
Did it make it harder maybe for you to gain like friendships or relationships as well?
A lot, because it also makes it hard for any other person to interact with me because they don't know how to. How to approach me, how to start a conversation. So it taught me to be really vocal. So if I see that a person is really uncomfortable or awkward around me, I would be the one to initiate most of the time conversations and open myself up to them.
To that person.
So that in a way taught me to open myself up to the world. Yeah.
And then speaking about the world, I can tell with the conversations that we've had, you're also what some would call a spiritual being.
I believe so. Yeah.
How did that come about? Like for you to dive into like consciousness and like learning life.
Sometimes we go through certain things that change us.
True.
I remember back 2009,
Yeah.
around there, I had a supernatural, how can I put it, experience, that really changed my way of viewing things. And the way I looked at life after that was different. So I think that's when my awakening happened.
Okay,
That's
for the viewers, they know maybe like in a summary, what
Yeah.
happened actually.
I was in hospital for certain surgery because of the condition,
Okay.
and at the time there was something wrong with me. Doctors couldn't figure it out, so I left it in prayer for that.
Okay, I
And
get you.
waking up the next day only to find that the condition is cleared
Sure, without
without them
all
doing
those guys.
anything. Yeah, so
Yo,
it
that's
really
wow.
it triggered something within myself to say, well, there is a higher power out there.
Then
It
speaking on a higher power,
Yeah.
what are how's your religious background in a sense?
Religious background. I grew up in a very Christian home,
Okay.
Christian values and everything. But the more I grew in that space, is
Yeah.
the more I start to open myself up to other talks and other thoughts, and other perspectives. That really sparked the spiritual side of me.
Now with your current or that spark, how did that affect your relationship with the family members? Because sometimes, like you said, which you grew up in a Christian household, right? You
Yeah.
can say that.
Yeah.
So once you start also being aware, sometimes you find that your parents do not agree with that.
Yeah, it made it hard for them to normalize the fact that I've changed my perspectives. Not necessarily my values, but my belief systems have taken another direction in a way. So them seeing the change, it made them uncomfortable because that's what we suffer most of. If you're Christian, you want to stick to that Christian way,
That's true.
and it paralyzes you because now you can't even think of anything else outside of Christianity.
Now with everything that you've went through as well, would you say that you are awake or conscious, as they say it?
It 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 borders there. It goes along those lines. Yes.
And also with the time that I've spent with you, I realized that you also sometimes try to assist other people with their journeys as well.
Yeah.
How has that been? Like being able to be someone else's support when they need it.
It's been challenging. It's been challenging, but it's worth it. It's a beautiful journey because you get to interact with different people and their walks of life and their experiences, and them opening themselves up to me and being vulnerable with me. It teaches me a lot, as much as I help them with their journeys and teach them as well certain things. But out of it, I take a lot of lessons that I carry on.
So I thought that you were a teacher and a student at the same time.
Yeah, true. I think the best teachers are students.
Now also let's dive into the ancestor realm. What are your views on ancestors as well? I know in our last episode we touched a bit on it, but
Yeah.
that was to get my thoughts.
Sure.
Now I want to understand on your side.
Ancestors. For me, ancestors is just who I am. It's who I was, who I always will be. It's my history. It's my future. It's my now. Yeah, it doesn't take away from anything that I've learned in my Christian ways that I've stepped away from, but it has taught me to solidify my beliefs.
Because sometimes now when you start putting the ancestor talk into things.
Yeah.
They're worshipping them and all of that.
Yeah, a lot of people have misconceptions about ancestors, and they think that it's contradictory to your religious standpoint, but it's actually not. You just have to dig deeper and find the balance between the two.
That's powerful. And then, like, what are your views on money in a sense? Because that's one form of tool that the system uses to distract and also control us at the same time.
True. Money is an illusion, the way I see it.
Abantu mangatshela omunye umuntu ukuthi money is an illusion, yosho ukuthi maye ngiveni ngigcokeni abantwana bami or
I think that's why the podcast is there, is to teach people, to give them a different perspective. But money is not just paper. Money is energy. Money is what you want it to be. So
now they don't realize that money also we give it value.
Money has different forms. Whatever you give value, that's money.
Yeah, now honestly speaking, on my side, I prefer digital currency, man. Because the money is lingani, 20 rand, 100 rand, lingani, mara sipilana nayo.
Yeah.
Okay, and then to dive deeper, so you're also into business as well.
Yeah, I'm into business as well.
What is one of your businesses that you?
At the moment, I'm running a family business.
Okay.
Which is Alpha Gas and Trailers, where we have gas departments where we sell gas and refill gas. We'll supply
and that gas is the original one.
We also have trailers that we're renting out as well. So yeah, that's the dimensions for me. It's just you experiencing yourself in another form, in another way, in another time, in another lifetime. So it's similar to dreams. I'm gonna be blunt and honest about dreams. For me, dreams is where the reality actually is, not this physical illusion that we live in.
Yeah, no, it's a thing of like you've ever woken up inside a dream.
Yeah, basically.
And then now it's like, which one is the real world? To put it?
Yeah.
Is it the dream that I had, or is it this one?
And reasons why I say dreaming is where the real reality is because you are limitless there. You are your true self.
True.
Yeah. So you can be whatever you want to be. You can do whatever you want to do.
I know. I see you. These conversations, these are the ones we're gonna be having. Yeah.
That's the truth. That's where the truth comes from.
That's what we want.
Yeah.
And then let me bring you to we're gonna come back to dreams in a minute. I just had a thought. So we'll see. We live in a society where you'd find girls wearing short skirts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then you'd find guys who are saying these girls shouldn't be wearing like that.
Yeah.
At the same time, you find women who are saying these guys need to have self-control.
Yeah.
What are your views on that? Because it's a reality we live in, regardless of whether we acknowledge it or not. You might not personally be, I'll say, indulging in it, but you find that maybe you have a cousin, and now that cousin sees a girl on socials, and they're wearing like that, and then they start to have that thing with, I desire to be like this person. Yeah, what are your views on that?
The thing I like about expression, physical expression, is that you can be the truest form of yourself through what you wear.
Okay, that's true.
I believe.
But now, we won't go there, but okay.
So I believe those women that are half naked and whatnot, they're representing themselves in the truest form. What were we wearing before clothes? Basically. So the whole misconception of women being half naked is wrong. It's influenced basically by Western ideologies, basically.
Okay,
it's not something that is taboo in a way. They're just being themselves. That's the truth.
Listening, man. This is powerful stuff being dropped out.
The self-control in men is what also was influenced by Western ideologies and Western thought processes, because men in natural sense, in natural form, in their natural habitat and instincts is a person who has self-control, but because we are
Okay.
fed the ideas and thoughts of others, we're acting them out. We're manifesting that which is projected into us. Yeah.
Powerful. Okay, before I go back to you a little bit, what are your views on Mandela? Let's understand, because you know what, some say that Mandela was cloned. Some say he died in prison.
Yeah.
Some say that he actually helped us, you know, and some say no, but he didn't do as much as he could have done.
Yeah.
You know, what are your views on that one?
Mandela, to be honest, he didn't fulfill the mandate.
Okay.
Because honestly speaking, this is where I believe and stand, is that he died in prison. And they were looking for ways to cover it up. So that we wouldn't, so that at the time, the black people wouldn't rebel against the whites and to overthrow them in a way. So they came up with a plan of deceiving them in thinking that he's still alive, and they letting him go. Basically, they never released him because he died in prison, but they released a copy
Of him.
a clone of him.
Yeah,
That's the person that we see in the TVs and the presidential suites representing us. But actually, nothing he did actually benefited us. All that he did was make peace between the whites and blacks. But at the end of the day, no power was restored.
And it's messed up because you still see whites being racist, you know.
Exactly.
But there's a place here in South Africa where us blacks cannot go. Stuff like that makes us realize, Guti, the white supremacy still exists in our country.
Yes. Apartheid still exists. It's just that it took another form.
Okay, that's powerful.
People,
like those who say with the chains that we have now are not physical, but they're mental.
They're mental. That's why Bob Marley used to say, emancipate yourself from mental slavery, because that's where the apartheid happens now. That's where the chains are now. It's within the mentality that you have.
First.
That's where they locked you up. It's also economical. Wherever you go, you're controlled.
Yeah, man, it's messed up because we still have things like your social media, which is controlling our thought process.
Yes.
You know, from TV.
Yeah.
No, there's a lot of brainwashing going on. But you know, we live to learn, unlearn, and relearn as well.
Yes.
That's part of life.
That's true.
Okay, so let's dive back into you a little bit. I see you're tricked up. You got the trip up.
Yeah.
Let's start with the copper bracelets, man.
Copper bracelets, okay.
For someone who doesn't know, what would you say they're for? Yeah.
It's for many reasons. I'll start with the normal ones.
Okay.
Medically, it's for relieving arthritis within the body. So, looking at the history of my family, we've experienced a lot of that. So, me in wearing these, it somehow relieves that. Yeah. So, that's basically medically what it means for me to wear them. But on a spiritual sense and a deeper side, it represents the energy and balance.
Okay.
And it balances out my energy. It balances out the frequencies of what I give out.
Now, question: should a person have two of these, or should they have one?
It's a personal preference.
Okay.
To some, it's a personal. Let me just state that for some it's a personal preference.
Okay.
For others, it's a mandate. According to the spirituality.
Because one day I also met this other lady who got hers from church. You know, I've met this Sangoma who got it from the Twasegui.
Yeah.
You know, met someone who got it from their grandfather as well.
Yeah.
So there is some, I'll say, spiritual attributes to it. It's not just like physical as well.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So let's go to Dela and within the challenges. I see them wearing it there on the socials. There, I don't know what is. What about it go?
Yeah, no. Oh, that one for me, it represents my journey.
Okay.
It represents me overcoming my challenges. It represents me overcoming the difficulties in my life.
Powerful.
And also represents me conquering my condition and overlooking what I have and using it as a tool or a vehicle to inspire and inspire and influence people's thoughts for the positive side.
Yeah.
So that's what Mkhele for me represents. Mkhele, yeah. For me, it represents a crown of victory.
Oh, okay, yeah, I see how that works.
In all things that you do. Yeah.
Okay, now, in closing, actually, for this one.
Okay.
What is one thing you'd wish could change in this society that we live in? Before you give your closing thoughts, but just like on that last question. Okay. What is one thing you'd wish would change? If you could change anything.
People to break away from religion. And to really understand who they are in themselves.
Religion, you're talking about Christianity, Islamic, all of them?
All religions.
Okay,
yeah. Everything that's man-made.
Oh, yeah, no.
Christianity, Islam, all
of them.
Yeah.
Just to break away from that.
Break away from that. Go back to your roots. Go back to spirituality. Know thyself, like your book says.
Yeah.
Know thyself.
Yeah, no one, because it's like some people might find it hard to break away, because it's like, they taught us this Christian theory or way of living,
Yeah.
So for someone to break away, it's a bit hard to break those chains.
True.
What is one thing you would say can help to break them away?
Another person.
Nah.
Yeah. That's what we are here for. That's what the podcast is here for, is to help those who are trying to break away but don't know how to. We are here to assist them with that. To break away. To unlearn, to learn.
Yeah.
To unbecome, to become. That's what we're here for. The
Powerful
truth.
Stuff.
The truth weaves new perspectives. The truth weaves new connections.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay, now, so yeah, guys. This has been... I know you want more, don't worry. We're still gonna give you more.
Yeah, we're still coming.
So yeah, leave your comments, below on what you feel about these topics that we've raised. Anything you disagree with, anything that you agree with as well.
Yeah.
And let us know who you'd like us to interview as well, who you feel like can share light and be a light to everyone else, because that's one thing we're missing in this current state as well in podcasts, especially in South Africa. Someone who can bring a certain awareness, because a lot of times guys are just talking about random stuff.
True. Yeah.
But we need someone who's gonna help us mindset wise, talk about the topics that don't want to be talked about.
Exactly. Thought provoking. The truth, truth, laying out the truth the way it is, and teaching about it. That's teaching others and growing with that.
And I know that we live in a world where we are not the only beings that exist in it.
Yeah.
Right. So that means that there are other beings in this galaxy, in this Earth even, and even in other galaxies. You can't tell me that God created all of these other galaxies and only put us and the animals just as the only the only living beings. No. Yeah. So there are other beings at play. So we can have a conversation of what they call reptilians.
Yeah.
Bob Musta calls them the Chitaur. Which is also a point I want to raise with in one of these Star Wars movies there's actually a character there.
Yeah.
And even if you do research, they named that character Chitaur.
Yes.
But they never gave him credit.
True. A lot of his works were never credited to him.
You feel me? So with that being said, it's like let me put it like this. The government is owned actually, not run, but owned or influenced by some of these beings.
Yeah.
we can argue that white people, or let's say the ancestors of white people, might have had negotiations with the Chitauri or the reptilians. Going back to this point, we told you all that we had to reshoot because of a glitch.
Technical difficulties.
We're having this conversation about the Chitauri and the reptilians, that run or control this earth that we live in and influence as well.
And everything just stopped from there.
Now,
my laptop, out of the
we are gonna spit this knowledge that just do your research on the reptilians, because some might also call them the shapeshifters. Some might say that certain influential figures in our society were replaced by them.
And some people that don't understand them or don't have any knowledge of them might say they're aliens.
Yeah.
So,
but also with that one, you must realize we are also the aliens.
True.
Unlike we are also aliens, bro. Our whole system, the way we're able to heal ourselves, the way we're able to manifest things in this life,
You're an alien to something that doesn't recognize you as one of its own.
True. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. But these reptilians, and it's crazy because a lot of times we just sideline these things and we call them conspiracy theories and all of that.
Yeah.
But here's a question: what if the conspiracies are true?
True.
What if they actually are hidden truths among us?
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that are subliminal. There's a lot of things that are subliminal in this day and age. From our own TV screens when you're sitting at home that send out subliminal messages. Because you must realize you have a conscious mind and a subconscious. The conscious mind is at the forefront, fair enough, but your subconscious takes in the things that you might not necessarily put in the forefront. You can sit in a room and your subconscious mind has analyzed it with, okay, this couch is green, that one is that color, that one is that color, that one is that color. You might not necessarily take notice until someone asks you, hey man, Kanti, what are those couches?
Yeah.
And then you start thinking back. And you start accessing your subconscious and be like, oh, okay, now man, I know this. The couch was like this, the couch was like that.
Yeah.
Same thing with like TV and all of these movies, even the music that we listen to.
Everything.
There's a lot of subliminal messaging going on. That's a perfect word for it.
Everything affects the subconscious.
True.
Whatever you eat, whatever you see, whatever you hear, whatever you say, everything affects the subconscious, and from there it manifests itself, and it will manifest physically. So it goes back to the power of words. Whatever you say, whatever you think, it will manifest.
It is a spell, Lee.
Yeah. And
you are spelled.
Coming to the next episode, we'll be touching a bit on angels and demons. Stay tuned for that.
Yeah, no.